do in prayer. So let's start there. I give great thanks for this day. I know that Spirit is in charge and all is well. I know that God is the only power and presence. God is the only activity of our lives. We know right down to the cells dividing in our bodies, the air that we're breathing, the food we digest, we know all that is the activity of Spirit. Because there is only one thing happening in the manifest universe, and that is God having an experience as each and every one of us, as all creation everywhere. The very ground we walk on is holy ground. It is the body of God. It is that natural and logical outpicturing of this sentient energy that knows and seeks to know of itself as form. So we are that. And what we know is that all beings are, all life everywhere is, even the smallest blade of grass. We know we are one. I give great thanks for this. I know it is God in all ways, and so it is. Amen. Good morning. How are you doing this morning? Just breathing into that new air of autumn, right? Here we are in November. Thank you for tuning in wherever you are, whether you're in San Diego County, across the country, or across the globe. Thank you for tuning in. We have a wonderful celebration for you. Of course, terrific music and some uplifting words and prayer, and just starts your day and really starts your week off perfectly. So sit back, get that second cup of coffee, put your feet up, get comfortable in your chair, and just know that across the miles and through the technology, we are one, that there is no separation, there is only energy, and we are all that. We share in this one thing called life. Let me tell you about our practitioners. They are here to serve you. We usually get together, right, in prayer rooms when we're here in the same building, but now that we're across the miles and through technology, we can serve you as well. So we have prayer request forms on our website, www.visioncsl.org. You can go there and download one, or you can actually fill it right out on the website and submit it. There's a practitioner page where you can call a practitioner, get prayer over the phone. It's a wonderful opportunity to allow them to pray for you, because this way we're both being served, right? Our practitioners the calling on their hearts is to pray for all of us. So when you call them, you're allowing them to live the calling on their heart as well. So it's like an all-win situation. We also, after the celebration today, we will have our meet and greet room. Come on by. It's a Zoom room. It's in the dialogue box. You'll be able to find your way there. And the practitioners will be there as well, and you can go into a breakout room and get one-on-one prayer there. However you would like to be served in prayer, we are here to serve you, because what we know in the science of mind and spirit is that prayer changes things. It absolutely does all the time. It changes our lives. It changes us. So make yourself, available to that. It is our way of serving you. Let's see, what else can I tell you? We have a greeting. So no matter where you are, anywhere on the planet, I want you to know how welcome you are here. I want you to stay and listen for and watch the entire celebration. And there is a welcome we say every week for our guests, and we say it for ourselves to remind us, and we're going to say it right now. So say it with me. Whoever you are and wherever you are welcome here. You are safe and you are loved. And that is from my heart to yours. Know that we are one. Absolutely. So now what I'm going to do is turn it over to our celebration singers. They are going to sing us into meditation. It's just a wonderful opportunity to take that time out for yourself. So take it away, celebration singers.
There's only one of us. In your eyes it's me I see. There is only one of us. You are my reflection. There is only one. There is only one of us. In your eyes
I'm a licensed spiritual counselor here at Vision. And I'm going to read some quotes that we'll take into the silence for a 5-minute meditation. The first quote, "There is a fountain of youth. It is your mind, your talents, the creativity you bring to your life, and the lives of the people you love." And that quote is from Sophia Loren. The second quote is from our founder, Ernest Holmes. He says, "Life waits upon a human's discovery of natural laws, of his discovery of himself, and of his discovery of his relationship to the great whole." I know that there is one power, one presence, one source, one all. We call that God, and God is good. And I know that I am one with that one power, that one omniscient source of all. I know that each and every one of us is an individualized expression of that one mind, that we are all connected, that we live on a breathing, living planet, and the heart and soul of all of us are connected. I know that this is an amazing time to be on this planet, to experience that ever-expanding consciousness, that ever-expanding God that can do nothing but grow, expand. And we are part of that we are awakened already to the Christ-like, the Christ self, Christ consciousness of ourselves, that we are, each and every one of us, connected to everything. We're connected to the planet, we're connected to each other, and we are healed. There are plenty of resources on this planet. There is love, and there is only love. And I know this in the very depth of my soul, that all is well, that we are well, that we are, in fact, thriving, that we are awakened, that we are simply loving, that we are knowing our God qualities within us, all of the joy, the love, the abundance, the connection, the compassion, all of it. And I am so grateful for knowing this, that no matter what it appears to be, that we are safe, secure, loved. We are loved and we are lovable. And I am so grateful for all of it. And I release this into the law knowing it is so. And so it is.
Hey, everybody, good morning. This is Andy. I'm here singing for you this morning. I'm singing two songs. One of them you really would know. The second one I made up myself, with a little help from John, by the way. So I hope you enjoy it. See you later. Have a good Sunday.
I've built my house here alongside this mountain, this rugged mountain that stands so tall. I've had a good life above the lowlands. It's more than I've asked for, but less than I've dreamed. I've often heard a voice call out to me, if you'd climb higher, you'd find wondrous things to see. But the way is steep, and the storm may come. For such a time as this, isn't it much too great a risk? Never flown from the edge of a cliff, never walked on the water. But if I turn away, how will I know what I have missed? Have I waited all of my life for such a time as this? I've been content to not ask those questions that stir the rivers and move the waves. Hey, the windless waters are so much more peaceful They calm my spirit in silent song. I've often heard a voice call down to me, this yearning meant to free me from complacency. But the way is steep and the storm may come. For such a time as this, isn't it much too great a risk? I've never flown from the edge of a cliff, never walked on the water. But if I turn away, how will I know what I have missed? Have I waited all of my life for such a time as this? Sometimes the thrill of soaring has to begin with the fear of falling. For such a time as this, isn't it much too great a risk? I've never flown from the edge of a cliff, never walked on the water. But if I turn away, how will I know what I have missed? Have I waited all of my life for such a time as this?
Good morning. We are in a new month. Here we are already, it's November, right? Don't you feel it's just weird, isn't it? I mean, things just changed as of March. You know, we had a whole new idea of what 2020 was going to be like. And here we are in November already. You know, it's almost over. We have 2021 to look forward to. But let's be here now, right? Let's be here now in November. And November's new theme is living as compassionate conduits. Interesting, right? Compassionate conduits. And this morning's talk is plug in. But I want to go back to compassionate conduits. And I want to let's define our terms so we really know what we're talking about. So here's what it says in the dictionary about compassion. It says, involves allowing ourselves to be moved by suffering and experiencing the motivation to help alleviate and prevent it. It is an act of compassion defined by helpfulness. Qualities of compassion are patience and wisdom and kindness and perseverance, warmth, and resolve. So that's what we're talking about. I love the way they define that is being moved by suffering and also experiencing the motivation to help alleviate it. So basically it's doing two things, right? It's identifying with it, it's being empathetic toward it and to someone who is suffering. And it is also the moving the feet part, which is to have the motivation to help alleviate suffering in other people. And now the other word, conduit, right? Because that's the phrase for today, living as compassionate conduits. That's the theme for the month. So compassion we just talked about, conduits, a natural or artificial channel through which something is conveyed. Right? And we talk about that with our own bodies, right? That we are a channel through which spiritual energy can flow, changing the conditions around us. So we're kind of already conduits. So now we're talking about being conduits for compassion to flow through us. Both those feelings for other people, those shared feelings of suffering, and also the motivation to do something about it. You know, and it reminds me, just the idea of being compassionate conduits reminds me of that story, that old Buddhist story about the bunny. Did you see the bunny in the moon last night? We had a really big full moon. I hope where you were that you could have seen it. But when you see the big full moon, you can see the bunny in the moon. I hope you know what I'm talking about. Because really, it's not a man, it's a rabbit. We all can see it. Anyway, it's up there, it's huge. The ears are, the ears go toward the right, the top part of the moon, and he's in profile and he's facing the left. And next time you see a big old full moon, maybe tonight, because it's almost still full, right? You'll be able to see the bunny in the moon. Anyway, there is a Buddhist story about the bunny in the moon, and it relates to, who was it? It was the bunny, the monkey, the otter, and I think in the jackal. And they all agreed that they would practice charity on the day of the full moon, and believing that the demonstration of great virtue would earn a great reward. And so when an old man begged them for food, the monkey gathered fruit from trees, and the otter, of course, got fish, while the jackal found a lizard and a pot of milk curd. The rabbit, who only knew how to gather grass, had nothing to offer the old hungry man, so he offered himself up to the old man by jumping into the fire that the man had built. And the rabbit gave his life for the old man for food. Turns out, I know it sounds sad, right? Turns out the rabbit was not burned. However, the old man revealed himself as Sakra, and was so touched by the rabbit's virtue that he drew the likeness of the rabbit on the moon, and that was his homage to the rabbit. And so it stays there to this day for all to see. I just love that story. I think it's really beautiful. So next time that you see that full moon, you'll see the rabbit in the moon. And for me, that was a perfect example of compassionate conduit, right? For him to give of himself, to be moved by the man's hunger and the man's suffering, and to also be motivated to do something about it. Well, today's talk is Plug In, which is really about understanding, right, the truth of our interconnectedness of all life. So this is, it's just a perfect lead into that, isn't it, really? Because we are all connected. And the suffering of others is our suffering. And the joy of others is our joy. Where they say, together, our suffering is divided and our joy is multiplied. When we realize our oneness with everyone. There is just one life. There's one energy, one supply, one source. And we are all of that. We are really plugged in all the time. That's why I like the title. We are plugged in all the time because there is only one. And when we awaken to that, we remember that that's just the source of all life. It's the same source. We are all plugged in all the time to the same source. We can think that we are separate and apart from each other or from God or from source, but that's simply not true. Everything is spirit, everything is energy, right? And energy takes form and abandons form all the time. We say the same thing about energy that we say about spirit. It always has been, it always will be. All it does is change form. The form can change, but the source always, always remains. That which we draw from is the same, always has been, always will be. It's eternal. The energy is behind everything, in form and out of form as well. And Joel Goldsmith, who was the author of this book, The Government of Eden. We just finished a book study on it. It was fabulous. Anyway, in that book, he said this, which I love because it talks all about this energy. He said, I have used the example in some of my classwork of glass and a tumbler. Glass is the substance. Tumbler is the form. But how can you separate glass and tumbler. You cannot. They are inseparable because there is no tumbler. Tumbler is only the name we give to glass in a particular form. And that's what we're talking about. I loved that description. We are all energy. That's all there is to us, is energy. People is the name we give to this particular form. You know, animal, dog, cow. Those are the names we give to that particular form when energy assumes that particular form. But really, all we are is energy. Glass is the substance. Tumbler is the form. Energy is the substance. We are the form. And energy is the substance for everything in the manifest universe. And what do we know about energy? Right? Think back, right? Your chemistry class in high school or physics or whatever. The scientific definition of energy is what? It is the ability to do work. That's really what energy is. Like they say, well, what is energy made of? It's not made of anything. It is energy, right? Energy, the ability to do work. Energy is the way things change, the way things move. It takes energy to cook food. It takes energy to move things. It takes energy to drive a car. It takes energy to digest our food. It takes energy for me to stand up here, right? And last week we talked about energy. I remember we talked about the two types of energy, right? Potential energy and kinetic energy. And then there's a whole bunch of different types of kinetic energy. But you know, it's like this. It's like I hold this book out, and that's potential energy. I let go of it and let it drop to the ground. That's kinetic energy. Or I can put it back in the lectern. That's kinetic energy, the energy of motion, right? And there are several different types of energy that express this movement or this ability to do work. Chemical and thermal and radiant and electrical energy and nuclear and ground and gravitational and motion and elastic, all kinds of kinetic energy. Now, quantum physics states that mass and energy are interchangeable. And so, consequently, that mass is merely a manifestation of energy. They're interchangeable. Mass, energy, energy, mass, same thing. And that's what we're talking about. It's all one. It's all one. Whether in form or out of form, it is just energy. This means everything, including us. We're just energy stored in a particular form. That's all it is. So we're just all energy just waiting to express. We're potential energy, or we're expressing, we're moving something, we're doing something, and then we're kinetic energy, right? So in order to be living as compassionate conduits, channels for helping, channels for healing to flow through us, changing conditions around us, we have to know this. We have to be plugged in. And of course, we're always plugged in, right? But we have to be plugged in consciously. You know, I know, we're always plugged in because we are that energy. We can't not be that energy because that's what everything is. Everything is energy. So we know we are that. We know we're immersed in that. We know that it is us. Every cell in our body is that, right? So we know that there's no place we can go to be outside of it. So we know we're always plugged in. We know we're always plugged in, but it's becoming conscious of that to know that intrinsically it is the truth of us. And so when we know that we're plugged in, when we know that we are part of the source of anything, we absolutely can heal ourselves, we can heal each other, we can heal the world. We can heal the world. But we can act as if we're separate and alone. We can act as if we're apart, but we never can be. Because there is only one. We keep going back to this core concept of a unity. Ernest Holmes said a unity, but not uniformity, right? Because we're all individualized. We're all extremely unique. Never have been before, never will be again. But this idea that we come from the same source. So when we awaken to this interconnectedness, it's like we plug in. It really is. We become conscious and aware of our interconnectedness with all life. It's like a house with all of these different appliances. You have lamps and blenders and microwaves and phone chargers and vacuum cleaners, all kinds of different things. And they are all potential. They're all potential energy until they get plugged in to an energy source, right? Until they get plugged into the electricity that runs in through the wiring of that house. And then when we plug them in, ta-da, right? Then we get work happening. Then we get light, or we convert this potential energy into electrical energy that then does things in our house. We're vacuuming, we're toasting our bread, we're blending our margaritas on a Friday afternoon, right? No? Anyway, some of us do. Some of us do. Anyway, we're allowing the energy to flow through the appliances to make something move, to make something work. And what is true for our appliances is true for us. Same exact way. When we become conscious, we move with that energy, which is spirit. And we do the work of spirit in form. We open ourselves up to be these channels, to be these conduits for spirit to move through us easily and effortlessly when we remember who we are, and changes conditions around us. We become that place, right? We become that place where spirit flows, changing conditions. So we become those toasters and lamps and, oh, the brave little toaster. Remember that? So cute. Anyway, we become those appliances for spirit, and we allow the energy to flow through us. And we change the conditions by allowing spirit to do the work. Right? And we are those transparencies, like Joel Goldsmith used that term, transparencies. We become those transparencies for spirit to do the work on earth as we would see fit. Anyway, we cannot hope to be effective conduits for compassionate living unless we are doing this work consciously and allowing this power and this presence to flow through us. Now, Ernest Holmes said this in The Spiritual Universe and You. We must connect the good that God is with the operation of our everyday affairs. Else it is energy not used. It's still there, all of it, but only as much of it can flow through us as we believe in. So if we take that position that we are isolated, or that we're separate, or that we're alone, or that we're just doing it on our own, then we cannot take advantage of this limitless power and presence that flows through us. We absolutely build a wall against it, like we like a dam. We don't let the flow through us into the world. That is our choice because we have free will. But plugging into source consciously, we align with the goodness of spirit. We allow the qualities of God to flow through us into the world. We then become those healing agents by allowing ourselves to be used by this power and presence for good. Because what do we know? We know that God is all there is, and we know that God is good. And so when we surrender to this spiritual power and presence that really seeks to express itself through us in the world, then we know that must be good. We know that must be good because God is good all the time, all the time. God is the good to which there is no opposite. Remember, when Ernest Holmes talks about the qualities of God, these are qualities that have no opposite. In the spiritual realm, right, in the mind of God, there are no opposites. We, as humans, we take up this idea that there are opposites because we have a tendency to put everything in little boxes, right? If there's day, there's got to be night. If there's good, there's got to be evil. We're the ones that break things up, but what Spirit knows is only good. What Spirit knows is only the continuum of love, the continuum of joy, in as little or as much as we deem possible, that we can embody, that we can then demonstrate. So this spiritual energy flows through us, as much of it as we deem possible, as we can embody, as we can align with, as we can embrace. And we demonstrate that good. We allow that good to flow through us. It's really not us doing the work. We're just allowing the work to be done through us. Sort of like the projector, right? We didn't make the film. We are just the object through which the film is projected. Anyway, so what happens is when we are that clear vessel, we can allow that energy to flow through us and change in all different kinds of ways. Now, here's the thing. What happens, what do I keep saying, is that energy changes the conditions around us, not because we're praying for conditions to change, but because we are aligning with truth. And we have to really make that understanding in our minds, not because we're changing conditions. We don't pray to swap conditions, one condition for another. We don't pray to make lateral shifts like that. We don't bring God down to our physical level and argue with God to change the stuff around us in our physical life. We elevate our own consciousness to first cause, and then everything changes in our lives because we are resonating at a higher level. Not because we bring spiritual energy down to the level of the condition and try to get it to change the condition, but because we align with first cause. We elevate our own consciousness to the level in which spirit operates, and we allow it to flow freely into us and through us and around us, and it changes conditions to reflect the higher level of consciousness. Does that make sense? Right? So we're not just praying, I hate this job, I want that job. We're not doing that. We're not praying for these lateral shifts. What we are doing is aligning with a power and presence that is greater than us and allowing it to flow through us. And it changes things, always, always for the better. Everything is instantly healed. Everything is instantly different because when we align with this eternal power and presence, when we align with spirit, we begin to see as God sees. We begin to see as God sees. We are not trying to make God see as we see, right? We begin to see as God sees. And then actually there is nothing to heal. There is only the revelation of truth. There is only the revelation of truth. That spirit is here all along, that we are plugged in all along, that when we surrender to a greater power and a greater presence in our lives, that it transforms our lives, it transforms the lives of those people around us, and it transforms the world. Because we actually become those compassionate conduits. We change our own lives and we change others. Ernest Holmes said this: if we can bind ourselves together reverently, in love and in compassion, and in mutual tolerance and understanding, under the cohesive powers of the universal law of good and the beneficence of a divine and universal presence, then shall we be able to use liberty without license, to diffuse unity with uniformity, and to lead the world down the pathway to a new enlightenment. That is the work we're doing. That is the work that the science of mind and spirit is doing as you in the world. Just by your being awake and aware, just by you holding in the light high in your own life, just by being and living as that compassionate conduit, you change not only your life, but you change the lives of people around you. You change the lives of people who come into your orbit. You change the lives of your family, of your coworkers, of your friends. You change the lives of people in your community. You change things for the good, always, because you are walking the walk. You are holding the light high. You are that place where Spirit can transform not only your life, but the lives of all those that come in contact with you. And you know it's true. The darkness is always seeking the light, and you are that light. They seek the light to transform their own lives. And those people that will come to you will say, I want what you have. You're so happy all the time. You're so fulfilled all the time. You're so positive all the time. I want what you have. And it's because you're living in the light. So continue doing what you're doing. Continue to stay consciously plugged in. Be the place of compassionate living. Be the conduit for that compassionate life to live itself through you. Thank you.
In only a few days we vote on Tuesday, the day we finally make our voices count. You've made a plan to get it done, and now from many all are one. So let's get busy, make it fun on Tuesday. Tuesday, make my case, I've had enough on Tuesday. They say some states will change from red to blue, but whether red or blue, don't care. Just get your voices heard out there, and let's get busy, make it count on Tuesday. On Tuesday, I've heard we won't have long to wait on Tuesday to see that fear has finally met its match. So raise your voices and be heard, and let me add one final word. Just go and vote, don't be deterred on Tuesday. Tuesday. Go vote.
Thank you, Andy. What a wonderful, timely reminder. Go vote, absolutely. Well, now is time for our conscious circulation. It is your opportunity to give from your first and best, to practice the spiritual practice of tithing, of giving back to source. And we know and accept that Spirit is forever giving to its creations, and we are that. So this is a giving back. This is an opportunity to support people, places, and things that are doing the work of Spirit on earth as you would see it done. If Vision is that place, we are so appreciative of your donations. Absolutely. Particularly at this time when we're so we're doing things so much differently than normally. We can't pass the basket. There's no one in this room. So for you to make that extra effort to go online, to make a donation, or to get online tithing, put in place automatic deposits, it's just such a wonderful gift to us. It keeps us doing what we are doing here. It keeps this going. So we so appreciate all of your tithes and donations. And so if you are giving today, if you're giving automatically, or you're mailing a check, or you're writing one right now, just please put your gift in your hand or in your mind, and know that you are part of this divine circulation. Let us go within and pray, knowing and accepting that God is the source of everything. God is the source of all life. God is the source of all good. We know that we stand in the river of God's abundance. We are standing open-hearted and open-handed, and we know that we accept gratefully all of the good that Spirit flows into our experience. Friends and jobs and cash and food and opportunities to serve and opportunities to be served. We know that we stand in this river, and we absolutely know the balance of giving and receiving. So we receive gratefully, we give graciously. We are forever in that balance of giving and receiving, and we know that it is eternal, that Spirit is forever giving. We are accepting and giving. We are absolutely duplicating the divine life of Spirit in form right here, right now. And it is all God. It is all good, and so it is.
As I give, so do I receive, joyfully, gratefully. As I give, so do I receive, fully, freely. God is the river where abundance flows. Stepping into it, I accept and know. As I give, so do I receive. So do I receive, offering my first and best. As I give, so do I receive, knowing how I've been blessed. God is the river where abundance flows. Stepping into it, I accept and know. As I give, so do I receive. So do I receive, back to where my soul is fed. As I give, so do I receive. Thank you for my daily bread. God is the river where abundance flows. Stepping into it, I accept and know. As I give, so do I receive. As I give, so do I receive.
Thank you so much for that. And thank you, Celebration Singers. You are just so wonderful. You support us every week with your beautiful and amazing voices and talent. And I am so grateful for that. So here we are at the demonstration of answered prayer. This is our Miracle Minute time, and I did not get one sent to me this week to share with you. So in lieu of that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read to you a call for commitment. This is from the book, The Government of Eden. We just finished the book study on it. So this is my official PSA, my public service announcement for you to get out and vote. But I wanted you to take this into your mind, into your meditation, when you go to your polling place, or if you've already voted, or if you're planning on voting on Tuesday. I want you to vote. I'm not telling you who to vote for. I'm not doing that. That's not my job. But I want to read this to you. This is from Joel Goldsmith's book, The Government of Eden, and he says, "Citizens of the United States have the opportunity and privilege of voting for their choice for the next president of the United States, a privilege they have had for so long that many take it lightly and have failed to avail themselves of this opportunity. Let us accept this opportunity as a solemn commitment and to enter into it prayerfully, seeking inner guidance and knowing the spiritual identity, not only of the candidates, but of every voter, that each may be an instrument for divine government. Let us, in this moment of meditation, realize government by God, government by the activity of the Christ in human consciousness, government administered by the inspired thought of men and women dedicated to the principles upon which this nation was founded. Take that into your heart. Take that into your voting booth. Vote your highest and best good. So, that is my Miracle Minute I'm sharing. Just if you have the book, it's in the back. It's on page 200. You can read it again between now and Tuesday as much as you'd like. And now is time for the last word, usually by Johnny Kirko, but he's not here because he's with the Registrar of Voters. He's working on our behalf this year. Isn't that lovely? Throughout all of the early voting. So he's not here, and he gave me he gave me all of his notes, which, oh my God, now it's the last word by Rev Patti, and you're really in for it. Sorry about that. But here we go. Okay, after the celebration, we have our meet and greet room. It's a Zoom call. The information, it was either sent to you by email prior to today, or it might be in the dialogue box over here or over there. I don't know where it is. But the information is there for you to click on the link and go to our Zoom room where we can meet and greet after the celebration today. And you can go to a little breakout room and have one-on-one prayer with one of our licensed practitioners. So please do that. I don't know if we go across or we go down. See, I have all the little notes, but I don't know which way they go. I'm going to go across. There is the coffee connection. Every morning, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 9, there is a connection. You can just hop on. It's another way for us to stay connected with each other. This is before work or maybe during work or on your way to work, but not if you're driving, okay? If you're working from home. It's a good way to just check in with your Vision community, share what's up with you, share your blessings, share what's going right, share what's going wrong. It's our way to support you in prayer or in conversation during this time when we're separated. So it's facilitated by Reverend Lori Sheets. She's there every morning, like I said, 8:30 Pacific time. So click on and see. Yeah, is it Pacific? Now what is it? We've ended daylight saving time? Okay, so now it's just Pacific Standard Time, whatever. 8:30 Pacific time. Click on, join with Reverend Lori and your other Vision friends and have some connection, some coffee connection. Don't forget to bring your latte or whatever it is that you drink. The Uplift by Vision is happening every day at 1 o'clock, Monday through Friday. Don't miss out on that. It's a wonderful opportunity, a 15, 20-minute break in your day at 1 o'clock to just come on and just chat, have this inspirational time for yourself. We talk about all things. Right now, I've been talking about words that people have been sending me. What did Ernest Holmes have to say about love? Or what did Ernest Holmes have to say about compassion? Or things like that. So tune in, check out the Uplift, see what's going on at 1 o'clock on the Vision website, the Vision Facebook page. I think it's on both. So go check that out. What else am I supposed to tell you? We have an online Sacred Gong meditation with Terry Wilder. It is Wednesday, November 4th, so it's this coming Wednesday, 7 p.m. Please join us. I know you used to be here in the sanctuary on the floor with your yoga mats, and it was just an amazing experience. It's still amazing. It's still an amazing experience through the computer. So get your yoga mat, lay down on your own living room floor or family room floor, and allow the tones of that gong to just resonate through the computer through you. So do that 7 p.m. this Wednesday the 4th with Terry Wilder. What else can I tell you? Dorothy Darling, our very own Dorothy Darling, licensed practitioner here of Vision, is doing a concert, Visions in My Mind. The concert is Friday, November 6th. It'll be on the Facebook page. It'll be on Vision's website. So if you're not on Facebook, go to our website and see it there. It is a love offering concert. She will amaze you with her voice. And it is a wonderful concert just to be uplifted. Visions in my mind. Don't forget it. Put it on your calendar. Put it on your digital calendar, whatever. I have a piece of paper. I write it down. But Friday, 6th. Do we have a time? It says Friday the 6th, 7 p.m. Thank you, Mark. 7 p.m. And I wanted to give Mark a special thank you. Wait, before I go further. Mark Danshofsky, who is our musical director, is sitting in the back doing the John Kirko job. He's making this whole thing happen. And of course, we have Jordan Walker on sound always, who we love and adore. And a special thank you to Mark for filling in for John, because he made it happen for us today. Last thing I want to let you know is that next week I'll be the speaker here on Sunday Celebration, and the title is Turn On. Okay, plug in, turn on. I get it. See, we're building here. We're building to this month of living as compassionate conduits. So don't forget, next Sunday, 10 a.m., be here for the next part of this monthly theme. And I know that we're celebrating, because it's the first Sunday of the month, we are celebrating November birthdays. So just know from my heart to yours, we are together. I know I usually have cake, right? We usually have cake here in the sanctuary. I'm so sorry, you're going to have to get your own cupcake. But just know and appreciate that we are celebrating you, November babies, sending you absolute love. Thank you so much. What are we doing now? I'm not used to being Johnny Kirko, so I don't know what's going on now. Okay, so now it's me. We're doing our affirmations. You have been comfortable for this whole celebration. You've been sitting back, maybe having your coffee, having your little pastry, right? Or egg sandwich, whatever. Now it's time for you to get up, because I want you to stand in the truth of these affirmations. I want you to ground in them. We're going to just absolutely connect ourselves to Mother Earth, and we know cosmic energy flows into us from our crown chakra. We know earth energy comes up into us from the root chakra, and we are fully connected to all of life. And we're going to stand in that energy, and we're going to speak truth in these affirmations. So if you're with me, if you're standing, I want you to do this. Okay, let's do it together. I am connected through Source with all beings. Just breathe that in. The energy of Spirit powers my life. And the last one, I tap into joy and live my best life in every moment. Okay, I kind of like that one. I really do, because we could use more joy, can't we? Right now, while all this stuff is going on, we could use more joy in our lives. So let's say number 3 again. I tap into joy and live my best life in every moment. Sounds terrific. Sounds wonderful. Let's pray out. I give great thanks for this morning, for everything in it, for all of the talent and all of the music, for the technology that brings us together across the miles. I give great thanks for all of the good, knowing that the good is God, and God is absolutely present in every moment of every day. Spirit has our back. It is all good in all ways and always. So I give great thanks for this. We live in the gratitude, knowing that we are one with Spirit and with each other. And so it is. Amen. Bye-bye. See you next time.